Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. And if you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. I'm Bonnie, Old Soul Mermaid, and today's video is going to be part 2 of hashtag Perfect Pairs, a VR to Lisa Papez's original video, hashtag Perfect Pairs. And many of you seem to like these type of videos. And I told you in the first video, which I will leave linked down below, that I was going to milk this tag for what it's worth. So this is just going to continue on. So the first pair right off the bat is the Minute Tarot and the Minute Lenormand by Tish Hollister. Now I have a full unboxing walkthrough of these two decks together on my channel, and there you see the very cute title cards. Those are the very cute backs. So obviously same creator, and if you don't know the story behind these two decks, the creator put a challenge for herself to create a tarot card, excuse me, and Lenormand card within 5 minutes with, I believe she used Sharpie markers. So if you look, I'm just like amazed at what, you know, a true artist can come up with in just a very limited amount of time. I hope the lighting in here is okay. It's kind of a dreary day here in Central Texas, but so much better than what it was last week. But as you can see, similar aesthetic, very childlike, whimsical images, partially, you know, just sketched with Sharpie markers. I found that this deck, the tarot deck in particular, is a great deck for inner child work, only because it's so youthful. It's got a lot of vibrant, youthful energy in it. As you can see, it's got a beautiful storybook quality, and the Lenormand, it just fits. So as I mentioned to you in my first video, sometimes when I choose to work with a tarot deck for my daily readings, if I don't choose a traditional oracle, I will lay down 3 Lenormand cards. Because you really can't, with the Lenormand system, you can't really get anything from it unless you have at least 3 cards, because it's kind of read like a system. If you want to get into a bigger layout, you can do 5, 6, 9 cards. I'm still, you know, trying to work my way with the Grand Tableau, but as you can see, this is a wonderful pairing together, and something that I choose if I put in Lenormand if I'm, you know, issuing a traditional oracle deck. And this is the Minute Tarot and Lenormand by Tish Hollister. I got these two decks on Etsy. They come in and out of print, so if they are available, I will leave it linked below. All right, my second perfect pairing for this video is going to be the Starseeker Tarot and the Oceanic Wild Oracle by Tiffany Sosa. So the Starseeker Tarot is by Nikki Ferrada, and the Oceanic Oracle, if you're familiar with Tiffany Sosa's work, she created the Vagabond Tarot, I believe it's called. I do not have that deck, and a couple of other offerings, and you can find her shop on Etsy. I don't know if this particular deck is still in print. If it is, I will surely leave it in the description box below. This deck came in a beautifully edged silver. Look at those magical, colorful backs. Many of you know the Starseeker Tarot. This is one of my top decks. I believe it came out in 2020, earlier part of 2020, but the Kickstarter was at kind of the tail end of 2019. I don't know. Can't remember. They all kind of, this year and the past year is all kind of run into itself, and it's hard to delineate where one starts and what where the other ends. But as you can see, there's a lot of pastel colors in this in the tarot deck, in the palette of the tarot deck, and also with the oracle deck. This is very much female centric, and for the large part, so is the tarot deck. But I think the energy works really well together. Look at this, the balance and the star card. And this would be great if you pulled up the temperance card with it. But, you know, I love mermaids. And if you're not familiar with the Star Seeker, this also has beautiful lavender edged edges. And this is available, I believe, right now on Etsy. It has come in and out of printing, but I use this deck a lot, and I think I'm considering at some point picking up a backup copy because I do use it so much. Look at this. This is the extra card in the deck, the womb. And I just think the energies of the two decks work really well together. And you know, who doesn't love mermaids? If you don't, leave it in the comments below, because I'm going to chastise you and shame you. No, I won't. I would never do that. But it would be interesting to know if anybody is creeped out by mermaids the way some people are creeped out by clowns. My husband cannot stand clowns. He really has a phobia of clowns. So let me know in the comments. That would be interesting to know. So this is the Star Seeker Tarot by Nikki Ferrata and the Oceanic Wild Oracle by Tiffany Sosa. My next perfect pairing is the Everyday Witch Tarot and the Everyday Witch Oracle. Now, I'm going to say, I know many of you have not bonded with the Oracle deck, and I don't know why, so explain it to me. I know some of it had to do with the layout of the book. It's kind of hard to find the cards, you know, because of the way the table of contents is laid out. It's not really user-friendly. But I find that these read so perfectly together. And the one thing that I really appreciate about the Oracle deck is there seems to be a little bit more diversity in race, skin color, and age and body type. It's whereas the tarot deck is wonderful. It's very much somebody's fantasy perfection, fairy tale-ish, you know, kind of European fairy tale-ish style, as you can see right here. But this one looks, the Oracle deck has a little bit more reality in it, even though they still have the whimsical clothing, you know, the stockings. You see, this is more fantasy. This is a little bit more based in, you know, modern day, if you can see. And I've gotten some powerful readings with the this combination, and this is one of my favorite cards ever, Tears of Joy and Sadness. I find the writing in this book to be quite good, so please let me know what is it about this deck that you have not resonated with. I think it's interesting because, and see, look, there's obviously an older woman, not thin and tall and, you know, fashion model-y, which I so appreciate. Not to say that I'm not going to read with a deck or buy a deck that is, you know, youth-based and fashion model-y. I have, and you're going to be seeing an unboxing of a deck that I bought that is exactly that. But I appreciate the nods to diversity too, and I do look for that. So that's what I appreciate about this Oracle deck. And I think because they're both by Jessica Alba, same artist, creator, that, you know, the energies correspond. And it's just an easy no-brainer combination. So that is the Everyday Witch Tarot and the Everyday Witch Oracle by Jessica Alba. Okay, this is one of my newer perfect pairings. It is the Muse Tarot by Chris-Anne, and this is the mass market edition. I do have a copy of the indie version, but I use the mass market because I think quality-wise, it's wonderful and easier to shuffle. And the Modern Goddess Oracle by Ethany. And this is newer to my collection. And truth be told, and I was just discussing this with a subscriber, somebody who's commented on one of my recent videos about the Muse Tarot. I'm all over the place. And asking how much use I get, because she hasn't seen very many videos updating about what it's like to work with it. She's just seen unboxings with it. So I am going to tell you while I flip through these two decks. And I do have a full unboxing of both these decks, by the way. Look at those pretty backs. This deck is not, right out of the box, was not an easy reader for me. It was one of those decks that I had to sit with. And I didn't get the bang up, just intuitive hits that I was hoping that I would get right off the bat. I like it though, because when I do make the effort to read with it, and the readings I have gotten have been very, very powerful. Now, it is not a deck that I reach for a lot. And maybe that's part of the reason why I'm not, it's not a flowy deck for me. That said, I have, since I've gotten the Modern Goddess Oracle, I have been playing with these two together. And I've been getting very good readings so far. So far, the experience is good. Because if I had to choose between this deck and Chris-Anne's Light Seers, the Light Seers would win, hands down, every single time. But I am currently in the process of trying to find a goddess or two to work with. And in my journey, I picked this deck. It just seemed like a natural fit to me, even though the artwork is quite a bit different. The energy is very, very similar, and I'm having a very pleasant experience working with these two. And maybe I will come on a video. I'm going to try to get through these decks, and I'll do a longer video about my search, and I'll tell you which goddesses I have picked. I have a pretty diverse ancestry and quite different, opposite ends of the spectrum. So yeah, I'll do another video kind of going over that journey. But this is the Muse Tarot by Chris-Anne and the Modern Goddess Oracle by Ethany. So, my next perfect pairing, you'll notice that I have kept out the Modern Goddess Oracle by Ethany and have brought out her Modern Love Tarot. These to me are a no-brainer, even though, well, look at those backs. Even though the artwork was done by different artists, the tarot deck was done by the wonderful Sally Morningstar, and I believe this one, the Goddess Oracle, was done by two sisters. I think they're sisters, Elena and Sasha Semenkova. I believe they did Ethany's Bad Bitches Tarot, the artwork for that. but I have been toying with these two recently as well, working with the Muse Tarot and this tarot with the Goddess Oracle, and I find that they're just symbiotic. They're just, they flow. They really do flow. And I'm having a lot of fun. And I can't say enough good things about these decks. They're economical as far as indie decks go, and they are so beautiful. Production quality is top-notch. Because they are both by Ethony, the writing in both books is wonderful. I love her outlook on things and the way she views things and the way she communicates. And if you are a newbie watching this right now, I would implore you to check out Ethony's YouTube channel. She offers so much good free content for beginners. She's just a very, very giving soul. So I will always support her endeavors, her decks, her Tarot Readers Academy when I can, as far as purchasing classes. Just a lot of good energy around. She gives back. So that is the Modern Love Tarot and the Modern Goddess Tarot. I'm sorry, Oracle. All right, you notice I still have Ethony's Modern Love Tarot, but I brought out her Awakened Soul Oracle deck. Now, of course, again, a no-brainer, and these are the backs here. This Awakened Soul Oracle goes with many, many decks. I have brought it out with many, you know, deck combinations. Whoops. As you can see, just both decks have a wonderfully modern aesthetic, diversity. This one has a little bit more fantasy. There's a little bit of diversity in it, but it's a pretty good modern day depiction. It's female centric, of course, mermaids again. But these read fabulously together. And basically, if you could buy just one oracle deck for your more modern, to go with your more modern tarots, I would say this, you could just buy this one and you'd be good. I've used it with the Light Seers. I've used it with this deck. I've used it with a number of other more modern decks. This Might Hurt. So it is a great all-arounder. It's economical as far as indie decks go. You know, the prices of indie decks are inching towards a standard $60 and $70 even. And depending where it's coming from, you add, you know, $20, $30 shipping, depending where you are. So, you know, it's getting up there. But Ethony, you know, she's kept hers $45 to $55 range, and you get a break if you pre-order her deck. So, yeah, it's a good thing. And you can see just the energy, modern aesthetic. Look at this. Is that perfection together or what? I think so. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking of these pairings so far. And if you have one or the other, what do you use with this or this? You know, let me know your combinations. So that is the Modern Day Love Tarot by Ethony and the Awakened Soul Oracle deck by Ethony. My next perfect pairing is another Tarot and Lenormand pairing, and the tarot deck is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot, and this is the Sawyer's Lenormand by Jamie Sawyer. I do not have the Sawyer's Path, is it the Sawyer's Path Tarot? I keep missing out when she has them printed. I think it may be coming back with her new tarot deck that's going to be Kickstartered next month, that maybe she'll include it in a package, which I'm definitely going to get. But yes, I've missed out on the tarot. I did manage to get the Lenormand deck. It's different though. This is the first edition, and she has come out with a second edition, which I think is a little bit different. The backs may be different, but that's why I chose this deck to go with the Lenormand, because it's tattoo art. It's not Jamie's tattoo art, but I quite like it, and I like the combination. And sometimes it's good if it's similar energy and aesthetic, but it's not too matchy-matchy. Keeps it interesting, don't you think? So again, this is a mass market deck, and I believe this in the second edition is still available on Etsy. I will leave links. But again, it's so fun. Very, very fun to pull a few Lenormand cards. It's a fun thing to do, you know, when you're doing a daily read, daily card pull. Just 3 simple cards will set you on your way with a tarot card, maybe 2 tarot cards, depending on how much time you have. I think this is a gorgeous deck, and US Games did a wonderful job. The only complaint, you know, you've got, well, there's the drawings are numbered here, which I think is cool, but there is the US Games logo right here on the edge, which, you know, I don't mind it too much if if it's small, you know, and my attention isn't drawn to it. But I really enjoy this pairing, and I think it works wonderfully together. So that is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot and the Sawyer's Lenormand. My next perfect pairing is a pretty obvious one. It is the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson and the Messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay. This being a Llewellyn mass market production, and this is a Hay House production, which you can get very cheap when Hay House has their sales. I think I paid $10 for it. But look at this. Look how beautiful it is. This has a little bit more of Disney art aesthetic. This has a little bit more, I don't know, grown up art style, but I think they are both beautiful. The one thing I love about the Oracle deck, the Messages from the Mermaid, is the diversity. For this type of fantasy deck, it is so diverse, and I love the keywords. I love the artwork, and I just think it goes really well with this tarot deck. I really, really do. And there is some diversity in skin color in the Mermaid Tarot. And that's why I think they read really well together. I love the writing in the book, in both books, as a matter of fact. And I think there's some light and shade, well, especially in the tarot deck. There's some hard-hitting images in here. It doesn't pussyfoot around anything, and I love this card. Oh, just love it. So it is a pretty unimaginative and obvious choice, but and I find that this one can be a little hard-hitting in its reading, and this one offers more of the hug afterwards, if you get my gist. And I love kind of a Merlin figure with pixie mermaid. She's got wings and she's got a tail, so I don't know what's going on there, but I can just lose myself in these images in both of the decks, and it's really fun with this imagery to just sit and contemplate and just absorb. And when if I'm using both decks and as a little bit of an extra, I will pull out my Sea Melodies Oracle deck by Jessica Lee. This is also by US Games. And look at those beautiful backs. And if you need a little bit of an extra message or hug, it's just a little extra. And I will pull this out when I use my Starseeker Tarot and the Oceanic Wild Oracle deck by Tiffany Sosa too. So yeah, you get a good mix. And that's one of the things I like to be able, I don't have as many Oracle decks, and I really do like to try to buy decks that I can use with more than one deck. I have some Oracle decks that I really haven't found a good fit with any of my tarot decks. So maybe not the best purchasing decision, but you know, that doesn't mean I won't have a tarot deck that will fit with them. So that is the Mermaid Tarot and the messages from the Mermaid Oracle deck. All right, if ever there was a perfect pairing, it's this one right here. It is the Divine Muses Oracle and the Antiquarian Tarot by Marie Bento. Both decks by Marie Bento. Look at the gorgeous backs. They have this smooth, maybe linen-y type textured cardstock. It's beautiful, and these are both two soul decks for me and a soul combination. I love Marie Bento's work. Her collaging, her digital manipulation of old photographs and engravings and artwork. Now, I will tell you, I think recently I saw that she has sold out of her Divine Muses Oracle. She is currently working on a new deck with some new cards, a new version of this. I think maybe it'll be available at the end of the year. But I will also tell you that I saw on her Instagram that she's also working on a deck around this card, which is in the Divine Muses, the Magical Child. I think it'll be called the Magical Child Oracle. So that's something to look out for if you are in love with Marie Bento's work as I am. This is a great deck for ancestral work, for healing ancestral trauma. I haven't started using past life readings yet. I want to work with my, my art history tarot of past lives to start with that, but I will be using this deck as well. I can see in the future. This deck, it's wonderful. These two decks, I keep saying this deck, because I view them as one almost. They work so seamlessly together. Great decks to take out around Samhain. Both decks have everything I love about art and tarot. I get some very powerful readings with this combination, and it is my soul combination. This and Carrie Paris's Relative Tarot and Spirit Oracle that you saw in my last video. Everything. They're everything to me. And I know this is not everybody's aesthetic, but this is me, basically. This is me and what I love. And these type of decks they tap into parts of me that I don't like to confront. I know they're there, but I don't like to confront. And these, sometimes gently and sometimes not so gently, bring those aspects out. So yes, great decks for shadow work. And if I am not wanting to use the Oracle, I do have the Antiquarian Lenormand. Now, if you're looking for, I mean, she thinks of everything. In this tissue are so many extra cards for significator cards, for gender. She always offers that. She has that, so many in her Lua Tarot. I forgot to point that out. But she has done the best job for that, I will have to tell you, as far as offering options. I know the green glyphs, James R. Eads with his green glyphs, Lenormand did that, but he gave you a few options, but she really does. Marie Bento offers you a lot of options, and that's why her decks, her Lenormand decks, are wonderful values. I think if you're into British history, does that look like an image of baby Winston Churchill? I think it is. But you see how she's collaged this wonderful, you know, the card association, the playing card association with it. And this beautiful, and there's the back. She's just, her work is everything to me. I truly, truly appreciate it, and will always back everything that she does, because it just grabs me. And look at this, look what I picked to put in for my significator cards in the deck right now, but I could change it out because she's given me so many options. Love these two. So the Divine Muses Oracle, the Antiquarian Tarot, and Lenormand. All right, we are at the end finally. So my last perfect pairing is one that really I haven't worked with at all, but I just saw Tash's video from Foxes and Brown Bear Tarot, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. I saw this combination on her video, and I'm like, duh, why didn't I think of it? So it is the Dark Wood Tarot and the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, both mass market decks. Look how beautiful that's edged in red. And I did this edging myself. Kind of matches the back. Anyway, I haven't worked with this combination yet, but you can bet your bottom that I am now. I think this goes perfectly together. And see, I've had this oracle and I've been using it by itself largely, pulling out cards and just doing spreads with just the oracle deck. But look at how perfect. And I'm like, I've had this combination for so long, and I've had both the decks, and I had to see it in somebody else's video to have that light bulb moment. So I am very excited to be working with these two decks together. I've worked with them separately, but now I'm really excited. So, and visually it is a perfect pairing to me. Now I'm going to see how they read together, but I have a feeling that they're going to be wonderful. I mean, just look at this. Really, I, smack myself on the upside my head why I did not see this. But I think it's a fantastic pairing. I really, really do. Oh, okay, you guys. So that concludes my hashtag perfect pairings video part 2, a VR to Lisa Papez's hashtag perfect pairing video. And I told you I was going to milk it for what it's worth. So I think there could very well be a video number 3. So watch out for that. Let me know what you think of these pairings, how they resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you. And if you are brand new, found any value to this video, like, a subscribe, a hit of the notification bell would be really helpful to this very small channel to keep it growing. So with that, I will leave you until next time. You know I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.